So Sephiroth Planet Heir is a tricky one. He is a base commander. I'm hesitant to say commander because he was a card for the dual training decks, the introduction to Final Fantasy that you could get. So he's a bit weaker than the Sephiroth in the standard set, which is understandable. He looks really cool. He comes down as like a massacre worm kind of legend. He doesn't have the life loss ability tacked on, so it's not quite as good as massacre worm. You can't actually kill anyone with this. And then whenever a creature dies, he gets a bit bigger. So he's okay. I think the main issue I have with this commander is that he's just not very good in this meta. Firstly, he's too slow at 6 mana. There's barely any creatures, commanders-wise, that is worth dropping him down for just to kill one of. The opponent also sees it in your command zone, which means they're going to play around it as much as they can. It is quite a bad command, in my opinion, which is a shame because the character is awesome. A lot of people are going to love the character, and some people might say differently. But in my experience of playing Magic, it's unfortunately a tricky position. Combine that with the fact that whatever shell I made with him, I was in Hell Queue. It's going to be very difficult, guys, which is completely the opposite of the intent this card has, being on the front of the introduction to Final Fantasy Magic kit with him and Cloud. It is really peculiar. I understand that the algorithm takes into account what's inside the deck, but I've made a few different builds, and all of them, no matter what, I can have powerful cards, weak cards, doesn't really seem to care. It's very powerful opponents I'm facing, but that's just the way it is now, isn't it? I think every deck seems to have that issue. So yes, we'll go into this video with some kind of optimism, I suppose, to see what we can do. The shell, I think, is strong. It is pretty much a Dimir control shell. It's the only shell that really seems to work with Dimir. You could go a lot more aggressive, but then you've got Sephiroth, which is 6 mana, so it doesn't really feel like it goes with an aggressive shell. It's definitely a control-y kind of board wipe creature, just much like Massacre Worm. So if you can survive long enough to enjoy him, then so be it. But the early game is all about defensive maneuvers, really. A lot of the early game of Dimir is disruption, removal, and then a little bit of support. You only really get finishes, you get to 5 and 6 mana. Typical of Dimir, really. It's a bit of a dirtly colour pairing, but we'll see how it goes. He's a cool character, but don't expect too much unless your opponent's running green tokens or white tokens. But yeah, let's see how it goes. We go first with some removal and Abhorrent Oculus, which is good. I did struggle to make Sephiroth a bit. There are a few ways to like double the triggers, but I feel like it's just so clunky, And a lot of matchups these days are kind of mid-rangey, and you'll notice a lot of commanders don't really have low toughnesses. They're very kind of mid-range to control. What does that mean? Just bigger creatures. There are a few exceptions, obviously. Tifa died to this, Ragavan died to this. Things do die to it, but the thing is 6 mana worth just killing one thing, Because I guarantee if you're playing against someone who's going to go wide, they're going to play around this. I think this really just goes to show the artistry of Dimir having mystery, The element of surprise is very strong and I think very underrated. It's definitely something that newer players don't grasp with us as quickly. Because as I said before, opponent sees everything we're going to do with our commander, right? I think we just keep killing this stuff. That was mana they needed. Okay, shame we don't have any more like fetch lands or anything for this Abhorrent Oculus. Okay, they missed the land drop. It always feels like cheating when an opponent misses a land drop. Is that it for our opponent? Can they do anything else? I think we can afford to just draw a card here. We can lose 5, but oh well. Dreams of Steel and Oil. Okay. Nice. And Seville is good because of the Abhorrent Oculus, as I just said. Let's just put something in the bin, something to help. They must have a bloody good hand. Alright, we'll get the Spellbinder and we'll exile the Panamonican. Interesting. So the reason they kept is because they've got a hell of a lot of interaction. Wash away there. Huge board wipe. Endless Detour. So I guess all they needed was the green mana. But the thing is, this wasn't even that. So I think it was definitely a bit of a punt. No green mana. That's a very risky keep there, but I guess we weren't doing too much. I think they could have waited to see maybe a couple more turns. I mean, they didn't know what was in our hand, obviously, but yeah, that's a shame. It would have been cool to see where that was going to go. I don't normally keep 2 landers because I want to get 3 and 4 mana, really, to just get the ball running. But we do have a temple to hopefully scroll land to the top, and we have 2 disruption spells, which I value very highly against control decks, like Stola, so we'll see how it goes. Espers are definitely a nuisance. Okay. We'll start with the Duress here. They already have 4 mana next turn. Time Warp. Ugh. It's annoying. We'll get rid of the card draw. That might sound weird, but card draw's powerful. If they're going to get an extra turn, they currently don't have too much to go along with it, so I'm not that bothered. I don't know. Maybe it would have been good to let them keep this. But then they have destroyed non-land permanent for the Narset anyway. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Okay. So we're playing Y'shtola. Let's just take her out here. And like I say, if they use a Time Warp, then they basically draw an extra card and play another land. It's not the end of the world, but we'll see. It's such a hollow existence, isn't it, facing Time Warp? It's just... It's like putting on your trousers in the morning. It's just so kind of mundane, and people put it in their decks because they can. I kind of actively avoid it, to be honest. It's just painfully boring. So yes, they do have the Stroke of Midnight, but
the veil of reality are lost. Meditate and prepare.
Search, I guess. Okay. Are they going to use the Stroke? Do they need to use it? I guess. They have the mana open.
I have reached my limit.
Non-land permanent. They can kill anything. 5, 6, 7, 8. So no counter spell. Brawl expertise. That's going to be good later on. We've got no way to protect this. And we also have the... This is going to be nice. We just bounce a couple of artifacts and something else in the following turn. Yeah, the fact that we can just manage that at the minute is very lucky. Fifth land would be good as well. It's just a shame that it has 4 toughness. We're never going to be able to kill the Y'shtola with our Sephiroth unless we get double triggers. It's not impossible. So currently we're dealing with a Time Warp and a Split Up, which on the current field is just whatever. They've got no other support. They've got a little bit of card draw here if they want to crack it, which they didn't, interestingly enough. I think I would have cracked that myself. Y'shtola again. Time Warp. So land would be great, please. Thank you. This is really going to slow them down and piss them off, I think. 1, 2, 3. That was really well timed. Thank you for that land. And actually what we can do is play the Dreams of Steel and Oil as well. To discard the Y'shtola. Oh, that's beautiful. So it would have been tempting to go for the Displacer Kitten, but they have a board wipe, so I think slowing down their commander is more important here. And yes, they can redeploy these things, but keeping her off the field is actually very important as well. Just basically trying to slow roll this Time Warp. Midnight Clock, that's irritating. That changes things a bit. Bring me Throne. That ain't gonna do it. Okay. So I think I'd rather see what we get with the Scanter than just play the Displacer Kitten. This is going to be one of those grindy games, isn't it? Oh, it's annoying they've got that clock. Because with the Dreams of Steel and Oil, which would have been lovely to exile. What do we get? Anything good here? Counterspell would be good. Okay, well, that's not very helpful at the moment, but... Time Warp. Yikes. If we go this, they could just go for the... I don't really know. Let's just see what we get. I feel like they've got an advantage now. Chase the Mind Sculptor. Okay. That's a pretty sick hit, actually. You can bounce the Y'shtola. But then they can just replay her and then go for the Time Warp. Maybe we should have got rid of this. Okay, well, we'll leave this back as a blocker because they're going to get Y'shtola with an extra turn. They're really tempted to sacrifice this Mind Stone, aren't they? And they still don't. I wonder what... Okay. I've never seen someone hold on to a Mind Stone so long. The whole purpose of it is to draw out of sticky situations, but they've got the Gilded Lotus, which is triple the power of that. I think in what I would have done is use the split up first, clear this human, and then do the rest, because then they can finish the Jace off by just attacking. But now they have to actually manually attack in. I think if that was the intent to kill the Jace anyway, they might as well just use the split up, right? Because they're going to get some value back on this clock eventually, one would assume. But yeah, us keeping the Jace is quite impactful here. Let's give this some kind of weird trample or something. Okay. The vigilance on that feels quite weird as well. I'm not sure flavorfully, if that makes sense, but... Do we just bounce it again? Sure. Just slow him down. Okay. And we've got Malcolm and the Iscanter, so I'm fine. They're going to pump the hell into that clock, aren't they? Eight, 9, 10. Then we're going to have to deal with 7 cards. I feel like they're scared of something. 9, 10. Interesting. So they wanted to keep up 3 mana. Here comes Y'shtola again. Let's just see if we can get Counterspell or something. Yes, we know they're going to get some cards here. Oh, Stifle! That is absolutely perfect. This is exactly the kind of card I need for this Midnight Clock. If we can resolve this Stifle against this clock, that's going to be amazing. And it will never ever go off again because it only triggers on the 12th counter. So we have to time ourselves very, very well. As long as we leave up the mana, we will be fine. Because people have done this to us before. You get the 12th counter, you think, hooray, it's going to go off. Someone stifles it, you put another counter on in response, and it still doesn't go off because it's too many counters. Let's do a brainstorm here. Draw 3, put 2 back. Probably put the Massacre 1 back. Damnation. Yeah, that's fine for now, I guess. Hexproof on tap. That's going to be very cool. be careful with the mana spending, though. What are they going to do? They've got a response? What does that say? I don't even know what that says. Destroy target creature. Should have played the Displacer kitten first. 2/2. Do we care about that? No, it's fine. We'll let them have that. We'll play the Displacer kitten and then we can actually just kind of protect the Jace as well. 2, 3, 4, 5. And just come back immediately under his control. Okay. Jace comes back. And believe it or not, I'm just going to draw a card. Actually, do I just look at the top card? We'll just look at the top card. I don't know. Getting another use out of it seems good. Also, pumping it to 5 loyalty is kind of powerful. Fatal Push. Put that card on the bottom. Yeah. I don't want them to kill the Displacer kitten. It's entirely possible because they have the Mind Stone. Okay. I think maybe the sequencing was a bit bad, actually. We definitely want to use the Stifle. Put an hour counter on it. So the hour counter goes on, and then that trigger goes on. And no, we don't need to flicker, because is it 5 loyalty now? So I believe the midnight clock just... And if they pay anything extra, then it won't go off. Which means they have read how the card works. Nice. Stopping them drawing 7 is pretty impactful. They might regret it of not using the Mind Stone now, but... And now they use it anyway. So I did say... Using it earlier would have meant they had 1 extra mana to play with here, but... And I didn't bounce this to the hand because they're split up. And they've got Vigilance, right? Which means... Even if they attack... The split up will kill them. The drain on this is really wacky, to be honest. Oh my god, we have a Massacre Worm, guys. Holy crap. Hopefully this last card isn't anything too scary. Reverse Rebuke. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So normally that would be annoying. But hey ho. So let's get for... We're never really going to get this chance again, are we? Do we go for... Let's actually just cast Sephiroth one time. I know we're missing on 8 damage here, but... I want to make Sephiroth into a threatening, like, win con here. Play with Jace. We're down to 12. Now Sephiroth... Oh, no, that was a stupid idea, because I'm going to use... Oh, you know what? That's fine. Get this goddamn board wipe out of their hand. Use the goddamn board wipe. Kill the Sephiroth. Let me play other things. Then I can play my Damnation next turn. Yeah. So we knew that was coming. That's fine. We've got more where that came from, my friend. He's our commander. I just want to get rid of this last card now, then I'm pretty happy. 2 creatures, Damnation does the job. It's turning out to be quite the grindy matchup. I'm not really sure what else to say. I mean, surely just playing the Y'shtola is the way forward here. I definitely think we would have lost if they had drawn 7, so I'm very grateful for that. I can't remember if I put Ashok in the deck to exile graveyards, but if I If I did, I'd love it because I'm very, very concerned about this Time Warp being reused and the Rebuke. Here comes Y'shtola. What's the final card? Just please be a creature. Alpha Mastery. Okay. Well, we're down to 10. My god, we are losing life left, right, and centre, aren't we? Okay. Let's start to gain some life then. So now they've got nothing. They can't respond with anything. So get rid of the Damnation because it's just the way forward. Gain 1 life. 2 life, sorry. But yeah, she's annoying. The fact she can just kill you from casting random spells. 9, 10, 12 mana for that. Holy crap. Okay. What are we looking for? Yes, thank God. Oh, this is crazy. I think we're in a I think we've just won the game, to be honest. There's nothing we can do. Please don't be bad sport. Let's just do this. Max 93S. Can we have a sporting finale?
Sorry, you don't.
Aether Flux Reservoir slowly creeping us back out of danger mode. Because the Drain 2 on this is really quite powerful. I'm just very grateful that Y'shtola doesn't do anything by herself per se. But they can still draw an absolute Haymaker. What's like a Dimir Haymaker? I don't know. HP Mills 10, Resurrect. A creature from each. That's pretty scary if I've got that. Yeah, it's just a shame that we can't use Sephiroth to kill that guy. But we can combine it with Massacre Worm, I suppose. And Displace a Kitten. That actually works quite well. Play the Sephiroth. Cast Magic Damper. Flicker Sephiroth. Okay. And now the Professor Onyx is going to give us some drain as well. So yeah, thank goodness. That was super grindy. But yeah, a good test of skill really. Playing against another control matchup. That's really where Arena is a good tool to learn. If you're struggling against control and you face a control player on Arena, my god, some of the games you can have can go very long like this. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.